ABC News correspondent from the White House. Hi, Karen. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Big doings yesterday as the United States officially opened their embassy, not really the final home for the embassy in Jerusalem, but at least they're in a building and they unveiled the plaque and all that business. So
Yeah, it was a pre-existing facility that had been used for visa applications and processing forms for locals and for American citizens. But essentially what they're doing is moving the U.S. ambassador there, as well as a couple dozen staffers to formally set up diplomatic operations there. But the bulk of people will still be out of Tel Aviv until they get that bigger facility, which they acknowledge it's going to take several years. But this was done with big fanfare yesterday, a plaque dedication. You had high-level officials there, Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and senior advisor, delivering remarks. But this was all happening as there was significant violence and clashes just a couple dozen miles away. And yesterday, the White House said that this was not something that could be blamed on the U.S. or Israel. The U.S. supports Israel's right to self-defense, and this is something that falls, the responsibility falls on the Palestinian group Hamas.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, the last I saw, and this was late yesterday afternoon, there was 40-something people who'd been killed during everything that's been going on. I mean, that's just an incredible number of people who were...
Yeah, I think that even was upped into the mid-50s with 1,000 or so, if not more, injured. So the numbers are really staggering. And you know, today is the day where everybody's sort of taking stock as to what happened yesterday, but certainly a very strong defense yesterday from the Trump administration of Israel.
Now, two more important things, at least hopefully for the president. How is his wife doing that you are hearing from? Because she's been hospitalized.
Yes, we were told yesterday that she underwent a procedure for a benign kidney condition. This was a very surprise announcement from the White House. They're really releasing few details. They're not saying what her condition was that led to that hospitalization. We heard from Vice President Pence last night. He said it was a long-planned procedure, that she's already on the mend and she's in very good spirits, but she's likely to be hospitalized for the rest of the week.
Really?
The president, that's what the White House said yesterday, as she recovers from this. The president was not at Walter Reed Medical Center for this procedure. Senior officials say he spoke with her right beforehand. He spoke with the doctors after. He spent about 2 hours or so at the hospital last night.
Wow. You know, not to be cynical, but if she was just you or me, they'd bounce her out of that hospital within 24 to 48 hours and saying, your health care insurance isn't going to cover this, so you got to get out of here right now. But, well, it's good to hear that she's on the mend and that it's nothing that's major or terribly serious, although, as my father often says, he said, it's not significant unless it's happening to you. And then it's a big darn deal at the same time. So
yes, for sure.
Anything that is on the agenda today for the White House that you're aware of that we should be made aware of?
The president's heading up to Capitol Hill today. He's going to deliver remarks at what's called the annual National Peace Officers Memorial Service, today dedicated to fallen law enforcement officers. He did this last year as well. And then after that, he's going to have lunch with Senate Republicans, and they'll be discussing his nominee to be CIA Director, Gina Haspel, where things stand with that, and the broader agenda that the president would like to see over the next couple of months, which, of course, it seems to be stalled on Capitol Hill because the midterms are coming up. It's unlikely you're going to see lawmakers take up anything big, substantial, controversial before November.
Optics are always big in D.C., as you're well aware. Is this lunch going to take place on the Hill, or are they coming to him in the White House, do you know?
He goes to them. It's their weekly lunch. Senate Republicans, he gets invited. Yesterday, the White House was asked if they think that the controversy over the comments about John McCain will come up, because certainly you've seen a lot of Republican senators really unhappy about this and calling for an apology. The White House says you'd have to ask the lawmakers what they're going to bring up.
I wonder if he'll have some of that, what is it, the bean soup that's served up
there?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's really good. It is really very good. But in fact, if you're going to Washington this summer, go there and if you can, go and have the bean soup, because it's really very, very good. So, all right, Karen, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Karen Travers, ABC News correspondent and our part-time, culinary expert.
Yes.
The soup really is good. I mean, I'm just saying. She's ABC News correspondent joining us from the White House.